Hey everybody, Frank Fradella here, and sitting here in sunny South Florida, and I was up late last night. I got to tell you, something's been on my mind, and it's been bugging me, and I'm gonna put it out there, and maybe you guys can give me some input on this. You know, back in 1999, I started an online magazine, a superhero fiction magazine that was just prose stories in a superhero setting, and we did some good work, man. I mean, I'm really proud of the work that we did there. And shortly after I started that thing, along came Sean Taylor, who did fantastic work. Tom Waltz, who did extraordinary work, went on to great things. Later on, Matt Hebert joined us, and just the writing team on that magazine was amazing. Frank Burns was one of our guys for a very brief time. He's still doing good stuff in the market. But you know, we did that for gosh, like 7 years. We gave away a free magazine while I was paying the writers out of my pocket, and I just never found a way to monetize the thing. And so we shut it down after we put out our first print issue. There's a whole thing online somewhere about how that whole thing came about. But you know, the thing of it was is that the last 2 years or so, I did a startup out of Austin, Texas, in the language space, and I learned so much about failing that business that I know that every business venture after that will be so much more successful for the lessons that I learned there. And that was a really powerful lesson to have learned. You know, it came at great expense, but I can't help but feel if I knew now, if I knew then what I know now about how to run a business, how to market a business, how to use content marketing and video, and really kind of leverage social media, Facebook dark posts. You know, there's so much that I understand now about how to get the word out about this kind of thing. So, you know, my brain, there's a part of my brain that always goes back to iHero and Cyber Age Adventures and the work that we did there, because it was my first love, my first baby, and the first one that failed. And, you know, a lot of people wouldn't say it was a failure because we reached so many people and so many people enjoyed the work, and that was great. But, you know, if it had been what I call successful, we'd still be doing it, you know, and you'd see our movies on the big screen. And, you know, here's what's keeping me up at night right now. It would be pretty easy for me to enter back into that market space as a writer. You know, I mean, I could write that stuff in my sleep, and so much of those stories still live inside me. Those characters are still alive, and so I can make that happen pretty easily. The problem is that, you know, you can't put the band back together, right? I mean, Sean, Tom, Matt, they're all doing other stuff now, so you have to put together a new team. I mean, maybe some of them come back for a little bit of something, but it's not going to be like the old days, you know? So the real issue is that I feel like we've kind of crested the wave on the superhero thing. You know, like, people are complaining about Age of Ultron. And I mean, Jesus, man, if Joss Whedon can't put out a really solid superhero movie without complaining, and with like nearly like an unlimited budget, right? I mean, we just call that an unlimited budget. Like, no. I need to create 4 billion robots. I need to have a floating island in the sky, and I need to make the Hulk real and Iron Dude. Yeah, like, yeah. I mean, if you can't please that market now, like if people are already so saturated with superheroes that it's kind of over, they've got superhero movies on the slate for years to come, and I think that they're going to find a hard slog with that, because people are going to show up, but they're not going to show up like they did. Like, I think we just crested the wave. So part of me is like, yeah, I could do superheroes again, but did they just ruin the fad for us? You know, did they ruin that market for us for a couple of years? Are people going to need a breath before we can come back to it and bring something new and original? I think people are always hungry for those stories, but I think that fighting the noise in the signal right now is going to be really hard. So that's what's been on my mind. You know, there's, you know, as a writer, I don't just live in the superhero space. You know, my, you know, the whole Valley of Shadows series is a kind of like urban fantasy, magical realism thing. And I'm happy to play there, you know, but I really like the camaraderie of working with those guys and everything. So there's a part of me that's kind of like, all right, we did superheroes and we did it great. You know, we did great stuff, but what's next? What's next? And maybe that's where you'll find us. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Thanks.